This video is all about the design phase of this yurt install.
I think I can get this. Settle down, rookie. Yeah, I love it.
Yay!
I'm so glad that's done.
Oh, look at that.
This one is a beauty. I feel kind of obscene doing this.
That's amazing.
You had the vision, bought the yurt, put it up. Now what? You've got to design the inside, and there's no blueprint out there for how to turn a 20-foot circle with a 12-foot peak into any kind of livable space at all. So in this video, I want to show you how I built out a bathroom, a kitchen, a loft with a queen bed, installed a wood stove, made a nice sitting area. I have self-contained running water in my bathroom and my kitchen, and a composting toilet with a urine diverting tube that drains outside the yurt. We're talking simple systems anybody can do. For me, I just couldn't find any information out there to help me figure any of this out. So hopefully this video will be inspiring for you if you're needing to design a space like a yurt, and maybe you can adapt some of this for what you're doing. I'll show you how I built out absolutely everything. Let's go.
It's gonna go from this
There's a good boy. How you doing, Mr. Moose?
I bought this 20-foot yurt from Living Intent Yurt Company out of California. After touring many yurts in person, I was really impressed by the quality and the craftsmanship of these particular yurts. So this is who I went with. It's 12 feet to the top of the dome, and the walls are nearly 7 feet tall. Definitely a design challenge. Now, I really went with quite a few upgrades when I ordered my yurt package, including full French doors in the front, a half-light door in the back, 2 real windows, and this kind of stuff just really makes it feel more like an actual cabin or a home. Now, most yurts come with standard vinyl windows, which zip and unzip or Velcro in place for airflow. I do have 2 of those in this yurt, and they are 3 by 6 in size, and they do provide lots of extra light inside the yurt. It's really nice. I also got upgraded insulation in both the walls and the roof. This yurt is located in northern lower Michigan, and we do get snow and quite a bit of cold in the winter. That's also the reason I added a snow and wind load kit to my package. These are essentially just extra support rafters, and they bolt from the rafters to the floor. The other upgrade I decided to get was their Duralast roof material. Now this material has a 15-year limited warranty from the manufacturer, and according to Caleb, the owner of the company, he estimates probably a 25 to 30-year life. I just was so impressed with this company, the quality of what I saw, the mahogany on the doors. I mean, the build quality is just outstanding. My experience with them from start to finish has just been nothing but great, and I can't recommend this small owner-run company enough. So if you want to check them out, I got a link down below. A lot of people are curious about how much I paid for my yurt, and like I just pointed out, I got tons and tons of upgrades with my package. Normally a yurt like this would run between $12,000 and $20,000, and mine was on the upper end of that scale.
Okay, so I got my wood stove, which I'm really excited about. This is a jodel. I've always wanted one of these. They look like
Dum dum gum gum.
from Night at the Museum, which is a great movie.
You might be wondering why I just didn't go get help trying to move this wood stove, but my husband was in Alaska, and I'm stubborn, and I want to see if I could do it myself.
So far, so good. Okay. It's working. Yes. Settle down, rookie. It's not in yet. So it's going over there. I think I'll be able to roll it all the way over there. I'll just keep moving the boards forward. How to move a 400-pound stove by yourself. You roll it. You got to buy a round one. Ouch.
I found this beautiful stove on Facebook Marketplace, and I got a pretty good deal on it. And I also got the hearth at a yard sale for $25.
That's pretty much it. Oh wow, I think I can get this. Maybe? I want to break off a leg. I did it. I did it. I did it. Yeah! Yes! That looks so good. Yeah. That's awesome. Oh, I love it. One thing about these, it scoots back in here and I have a screen inset. Awesome.
One of the first things I needed to build was a loft. Now, I had no idea how I was going to do this, so I just kind of figured it out as I went. To build the loft, I decided to use 4x4s out of Douglas fir. To put it all together, I was going to use these steel sleeves. Now, they come in all shapes and sizes and configurations. There's corner pieces, there's base pieces. It made it really easy. I'll put a link below if you guys are interested in that. Using heavy lag screws, you attach it to your 4x and then just build whatever you want. The loft base itself measures 4x7. I wanted to be able to put 2 full sheets of 4x8 3/4-inch plywood up top for a queen-sized bed and have enough overhang on each side to build in a bathroom and a kitchen. With more 4x, I added an extension out front and supported it with more angled 4x. It was really sturdy just freestanding, and then I secured it to the floor and the base of the platform with heavy lag screws. Next came the part I was dreading, moving around these heavy 3/4-inch sheets of plywood, which weigh about 75 pounds apiece.
It's so heavy.
Didn't want to scratch my newly stained and varnished floor. The loft itself is almost 7 feet tall, and I definitely had a leverage disadvantage here.
Oh, come on, slide. There we go. Oh, man.
After finally getting it up there, it wasn't long before I realized that because of the curve of the yurt, it wasn't going to sit very close to the edge. So it had to come back down and get reshaped. Couldn't slide it up close because it's curved, obviously. I'm freehanding this with a few just basic measurements. So I just cut it with the jigsaw, hoping that'll get me closer to the edge. And I couldn't believe it, but here I was again, trying to horse this piece of plywood back up on the loft for the second time. For the record, the plywood I was using up top also was tongue and groove, which added some more support to the platform at the end of the day.
It's ridiculous getting these up here. Hey, I think I did it. I think I got pretty close on those measurements. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe this worked.
I left it in place while I painted. I was definitely not moving it again. On to the next piece of the puzzle. How exactly did I want to configure the underneath of the loft? I wanted a bathroom, I wanted a kitchen. Now it was time to kind of engineer how I was going to make that happen. I ended up adding a couple studs and rafters underneath the loft for additional support, but also to build out my walls, and what I'm doing here is the kitchen counter.
Here we go.
Screwed everything into place and also added some decorative steel plates to the front angled cuts.
Gives it a nice decorative look.
Next it was on to adding tongue and groove. I was going to cover the entire bottom of the loft, dividing each section of the kitchen and the bathroom with my favorite, pine tongue and groove. I just really feel like this material is easy to deal with, and it just gives such a nice aesthetic to everything. The vision for the loft, kitchen, and bathroom area was finally starting to take shape. It was time to trim off the front groove.
And I absolutely hated to cut that in here. There was no getting around it. Got everything just covered in dust now.
Lots of bits and pieces of this project were in motion at the same time. For instance, this sink counter. I needed it cut out so I could get it stained and varnished and get it drying for the next phase.
So I found this really nice pine armoire at Habitat for Humanity. It's kind of a beast.
I was trying to capitalize on the space I had to pull my truck right up to the door before I built the deck. So lots of big projects were coming through the door.
Here we go. There we go. Look at this. Isn't that nice? That's going to be well needed in here. You need something, somewhere to put things. But that is gorgeous. All right.
With the counter finished, it was time to install it. I was using 5/4 inch edge glued pine for my countertops, and I love this material. This particular one was very warped, so I had to use my clamps in order to get it straightened out.
All right. Let's see how this is gonna look. Oh, look at that. That is nice. Lights and shelves. Yeah.
Time for more big, heavy things coming through the front door. I found this beautiful antique buffet at a Habitat for Humanity and thought it would make the perfect kitchen island.
All right, now I can finish this. Get the top on, which is all finished. See what it's gonna be like as my kitchen island right here. It's gonna be so cool. Yay! Man, I don't know if you can see this, how amazing of a match this paint is. I cannot believe I got such a perfect match. This is like the exact color.
The only thing I did to this buffet is a real deep clean and added a couple handles. The top is 5/4 inch edge glued pine, a 6-foot piece, sanded and finished.
I just need to attach it to the top. Oh, I like the green.
This thing still even had the original keys with it.
All the space for food and pots and pans and dishes. I've got shelves that go in there. Buffet turned into a kitchen island. Here it is. Let's see what it looks like with chairs. A couple of these on the end. These. Oh. perfect. And I still need to get one more. This would be this one. I love it. I'll get a rug. Yeah! That turned out awesome.
Next, I was on to building a semblance of a railing for the loft. Now, in my previous video, this is probably the thing that got the most comments. Everyone thinks this railing is way too small, and you might be right, but I didn't anticipate my mattress being as thick as it was, and to be honest, I've never even come close to falling out of bed with or without a railing at any height, so I'm not really worried. At the end of the day, it gives me a couple inches above the bed, just in case. The railing ended up being 10 inches high, and I secured it to the platform with screws.
Let's see what that feels like. Well, it definitely feels better having something, just a small rail. I'll do one more on that side. I'll leave this side open. This is where the ladder will go to. Doing this kind of like whitewash look on the tongue and groove. I think it's turning out good. I really like it.
I decided to add some decorative fascia to the front of my loft, so I made a little pattern, and I'm gonna cut it out with jigsaw, paint it, put it on the loft. Should be cool.
Okay, that turned out good. I'm gonna sand it up and then paint it.
For me, little touches like this just give things a little bit of extra shine.
That turned out so good. Really looks nice.
It was time to think about more furniture inside, and I had come across this cool plywood rocker design by Andrew Doxtator on YouTube, and I had to make one.
Okay, here's the first one.
You cut out 3 pieces of plywood. Here I'm using a nice birch plywood, and cut grooves in it, put it together, and you've got yourself a really cool, unique rocker. To make it a little more comfortable, I bought a cushion for an outdoor chair, retrofitted it for my rocker, put in some sheepskin rugs, and bam! Really unique piece for the yurt. And super, super cozy too.
Oh yeah.
With all the heavy stuff moved into the yurt, it was time to think about building the deck. This one was going to be 10 by 12 and just a simple square deck. I had thought about making it fancy, curving around the yurt, but I was just frankly out of energy at this point. Just using treated 4x, sinking them into the ground 2.5, 3 feet, and securing them by tamping them with the tamper. The door to the yurt is probably 2.5 feet off the ground. So having a nice big deck that you can sit out and kind of look over the land was really something that was important to me. Besides, you need a way to get up into the yurt. Once the rim joists and the posts were all set, I was able to drop in the floor joists. I was sure to leave a small gap between the yurt and the deck so that any runoff from the yurt would go between both of them. Next came laying out all the decking boards. Now I didn't use any certain spacing between each board, just kind of eyeballed it. Time for stairs. I ended up buying these stringers from Menards. I was just kind of too lazy to figure it out and cut it myself. It made the process go a lot quicker, and I got the stairs done relatively quickly. For treads, I was using 12-inch treated planks.
Oh, this is so great. Oh, yeah. And since my outhouse is over here, I'm making another set of steps over here. Not quite as wide, but oh, this is so nice to be able to go up and down so easy. Yay! Love the deck.
Simply repeated the whole process on the other side of the deck. And when I ran out of 12-inch boards, I simply substituted for 3 2x4s.
Should have done that the whole time. That looks really good. Now I have access both sides. Wood outhouse. That's so nice.
Since it was dry and sunny, I was on to mixing and matching projects. I needed to get these other boards for the bathroom stained up so I could finish that side. And it was also time to think about a back deck. Yes, I needed yet another deck off the back to access the back door. This was just going to be a simple 4x8 deck supported by small concrete pads. Here I'm using my speed square to square up the platform. Since this was such a small deck, I was just kind of placing and leveling as I went. Definitely redneck engineering here. Time for the decking boards, and this thing would be a wrap.
Okay, well there we go. Now if it's a hot day, this day is really shady. Come back here, put a chair. I just need to make a box step here because this is too high. But nice little back deck.
This is all treated wood, so it's perfectly okay to sit right on the ground.
Oh. This will be nice. I just love decks. Like, I just want decks everywhere. Love it. Huh? Yeah? It's coming together. It is coming together, piece by piece.
Look at my view in the back porch. It's very nice. Construction mess, but that's pretty nice. Pretty nice view from the deck. I like it. It's time to finally get that back wall finished of the bathroom. I had added another stud next to my big 4x post, and that was helping me close up that gap. Which reminded me I also needed a door for the bathroom. Good news was I had just enough tongue and groove to make it happen.
Hopefully that's our door.
Got it stained up and installed some hardware, and it was time to hang it. Turned out so good. Just a nice, light, easy door.
I've been dreading this.
Cutting the hole in my yurt for the wood stove was not something I was looking forward to doing.
Okay, we're in. Now I've got this T. So what I need to do now is build a support for the rest of the chimney to brace off to.
I'm going to be doing a separate video specifically just on this wood stove install with all the details. Just have my 4x and some 2x. This is all treated lumber. Now I can build everything else up, and I'm going to have to add 2x4s probably as I go up. There's just simply too many details to do it justice in this video.
Rain cap.
So if you're interested in a detailed video about installing a wood stove in a yurt, look forward to that coming out on my channel soon. At the end of the day, you need a sturdy, external, standalone system for securing your chimney outside of the yurt. And you also want to check code to make sure you're far enough away from the peak and high enough. Next up was a heat shield for my stove.
So I've got my screw through the hole, put it on the spacer, line it up with the second hole.
I'll cover all this in the upcoming video.
So that makes for a really nice heat shield. Really cheap, really easy. Isn't that cool?
It was time to build a ladder for the loft. Now I wanted something really sturdy. So my idea was to take 4x Douglas fir and rip it down into true 2-inch boards.
Hey, there we go. Make a very sturdy loft ladder. So much detail work all the time. I feel like it's never gonna end.
Now I had to sand everything down, and I also had gone and picked out the prettiest 2x lumber I could find for the rungs. To lay out the ladder, I was marking each rung 11 inches apart. I simply got that measurement from a ladder we already had. In order to angle each rung, I decided just to mark a spot an inch apart. I would pre-drill my first hole and then screw it in place on each side. I was using heavy lag screws for this. When the screw was in place on each side, I would simply tap the rung down until I hit my pre-measured line. That gave me the angle I was looking for, and then I would use a second screw to secure it in that location. It's time to finish it up and let it dry.
Alright, this is the moment of truth. I'm not sure if I want one more rung or not. Let's take it in. See what it looks like. Okay. Alright, it's going right here. Oh, that's awesome. Yes. Yeah, I don't want any more steps. I think that's about where it should be. Nice.
Forgot to mention I also angle cut the bottom, but I think the ladder turned out beautifully. I also want to mention I secured it to the loft with some hinges.
There's enough room to pass under. Cool. Oh, I'm so glad that's done. This is going to be my new sink for the bathroom. I'm going to cut out this shelf so my water jugs can sit in here, and I'm going to add a sink, get this shelf out.
I really wanted a solution for hands-free water in my yurt, but I also wanted the system to be really simple, something that you wouldn't have to think about or worry about freezing. That's when I found this, a USB rechargeable water pump.
There we go.
This antique cabinet fit my vibe perfectly.
Okay, there we go.
Slide this in the tailpipe. Now it can sit over here, so the input's going up.
Yep. Well, anyway, got our hole.
I'll be putting out a detailed video on how I put together this system, so if you're interested, keep an eye out for that video. All you do is press here.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. See if there's any leaks. Ha! Hands-free. And here's what the finished product looks like in my bathroom. That's just amazing. Now it's time to think about my toilet. I was going to build a urine diverting composting toilet.
All right, there's the box. Seems like it's tall.
Yes, indeed, it was a little tall, so I took a couple inches off.
There's the lid. And a trip. There we go. I feel kind of obscene doing this. I think that's about right. Let's see if this fits. Yes. It's good. Here we go. Toilet.
I sanded that sucker smooth as a baby's bottom.
Well, as far as plywood toilets go, this one is a beauty. Look at that.
The idea behind a urine diverting toilet is that the solids are separated from the liquids, which is the source of much of the smell in composting toilets. But instead of collecting it in a jug like most separating toilets, I had another plan. I was going to dig a pit outside my yurt where the urine would drain.
Okay, we're in my newly constructed yurt bathroom. I'm going to drill a hole straight through. It is about 4 inches. And I'm through. There's daylight. Got the end of the tube going right into the bottom.
If you want more details, I'll be doing a separate video on this subject too, so look for that video if you're interested. Okay, here's the finished toilet. It's all good to go. And if you lift up the lid, there's both of them. So we've got the urine diverter and the tube and the funnel going to the tube. Now what I use for compost in the bucket is a mixture of sawdust and peat. So I go to the local sawmill and get their sawdust, and then I mix it with peat. And so I have these big buckets full. And so you want to layer some at the bottom of your bucket just to start. And then after you go, you want to just grab more of the material and cover it up. And that way it just kind of traps all the smells, and you can even just let this, when the bucket is full, you can just let it compost in place, put the lid on it and forget about it for several months, and then dump it into your composting pile and rinse your bucket out, and there you go. So it really is a great option for saving water, and it really is not gross or weird in any way. You put it back down, just make sure the tube is in place. There you go. Toilet that actually drains the urine to the outside. I'm gonna try it out. That's amazing.
No more pee jugs.
One of the last things I needed to do was install water in my kitchen sink as well. I did it the same way as I did in my bathroom sink. So again, if you guys want to see details on that, I'll be doing a video shortly about everything you need to know on that system. Well, there she is. With a lot of hard work and a little imagination, I got it done. And I gotta say, I'm pretty happy how it turned out. Just a cozy, relaxing space, and I cannot wait to have friends and family over to enjoy this place. If you'd like to see the full tour where I go over everything inside, there's a link below. Click that if you're interested. And yes, Betty White in the bathroom. I couldn't resist. And if you're interested in the deep dives on the wood stove install, the water system, and the composting toilet, look for those videos soon. Well, hope you liked the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. This is Girl in the Woods. She gone. Oh, and don't forget to get outside and get happy.